The story is told of a police officer on the road who wanted to extort money from a Hoover driver. In these coronic times, my friends, in these coronic times. But you know, drivers of these ride-hailing apps like Canoes, Mangoes, Testify, they typically have all their documents intact. Don't you know that? So this police officer, after checking all the papers to his satisfactory disappointment, back. Why is your car painted white? Don't you know, per the coronic restrictions ban, you are supposed to paint your car black and not white? But before the driver could say anything, a said police officer opens the door, sits in and says, let's go to the station. You are under arrest for posing dangers to the commuting public. Now, shocked, this Hoover driver follows the policeman but starts coughing consistently. Now, this gets the policeman alarmed and he says, hey, what do you think you are doing? He says, well, I'm on my way to test for COVID-19 as I have just returned from Italy and I don't feel too well. Come and see. Police officer goes, I stopped the car. I want to urinate. The driver rather accelerates and intensifies his cough. Luckily, the doors weren't locked, so when they got to a bushy area, the police officer opened the door and threw himself out, and the Hoover driver was like a chocolate in a vu, which also means tsiabanku or naniama. I mean, thanks to coronavirus, fewer police officers are demanding bribes, even from compliant drivers. Coronavirus is doing what the IGP couldn't do, but sincerely, this COVID-19 thing is really devastating. But then, again, it's exposing the Ghanaian citizen, the Ghanaian political leader, the Ghanaian businessman, the Ghanaian spiritual leader, and even the Ghanaian media in a powerful social X-ray that has never been seen before. This is Backpage, your new satirical show on Citi TV and DSTV channel 363 with me, Caleb Kudah. In these unusual times, can we make some time to distress small? Shall we? You ready? Let's do this, man. Let's do this. Let's start from here. Coronavirus is affecting many things. It's very likely by the time we are done with this show, there will be new facts, new developments, and hopefully more recoveries. Amen to that. Now, dear, sports, business, politics, entertainment, everything has been taken over by corona. Yeah, but let me start from Parliament. Because the majority leader stood up and folks were like, hey, no, we are about to hear some long grain perfume English again. Well, as usual, the English was sweet, but the issue raised is both disturbing and absolutely hilarious.
The sanitizers and placing them at advantage positions. What we are beginning to notice is that a few individuals are draining the sanitizers and taking them elsewhere. Which is very serious. The Speaker, we need to activate the CCTVs, and anybody who is caught in this is not only going to be named and shamed, but appropriate sanctions will be applied.
People say, well, even if these hand sanitizers were provided in places of worship, some holy worshippers would have managed to break bread. You get what I mean? Because some other holy worshippers who sell hand sanitizers have pegged the prices of these critical preventive elements at unholy levels. So if sanitizers get stolen at Parliament, where loaded pigeonholes have miraculously facilitated the passing of some laws that rob the poor and sometimes the nation at large in the interest of the lawmaker and his paymaster, who is very often a foreigner, then, like, what's the big deal, right? What's the big deal? But don't you think COVID-19 is generally like one of those artists at Heritage Art Festival painting for us what we truly are, both as citizens and leaders? Don't you think so? Anyway, there is more to cover, but COVID-19 has taught politicians a very critical lesson, like appointing the right people into the right office, not the right person into the wrong office or the wrong people into the wrong office. I personally, would have loved to see, Deputy Minister of Health, Tina Elements, for example, lead in addressing one of those press conferences, But sadly, it appears that beyond receiving picketing letters of unposted, disbanded graduate nurses, her brief doesn't cover dealing with COVID-19. So, Charlie, she did a call. But looking back to 2016 and the energy she campaigned with, many are of the view that she could have done a solid job at educating our market women, you know.
Sanitizers mean to the behind you woman, sir. As a sanitizer be a here. Said will be home for free coming.
Abnasewa comes to the market often to shop, but this is her new strategy to avoid contracting the deadly coronavirus.
Hey, wash your hands! Wash your hands before you go. Hey, free wash. Hey, free wash. Wash your hands.
So quite interesting things here right in front of the SIC Life Mall in the Central Business District. This lady here has actually filled her bucket with water. She has soap, she has sanitizer, and she's actually doing this for free. So a few minutes ago, we saw her instructing some Chinese nationals to actually wash their hands for free.
I'm imagining how she would have disabused many market women of thoughts that if you drink akpeteshi or something like that, it can end coronavirus. But also, some of our commercial drivers and co,
If they are eating, they have to wash their hands, and they didn't touch if anybody, something like that, whereby it's our system. That's why we tell them to know the coronavirus, whereby it's on Ghana here, so they have to make prepare about that. So some people some patients are complaining about the coronavirus, but only we educate them that they should wash themselves well so that they won't get some.
Anyway, at least we all need to understand that it takes a lot of finesse to communicate in times like these.
There are those who, even in these very trying times, take delight in fabricating stories and throwing them out there on social media, sometimes for political purposes, sometimes for mere humor. We like to discourage that as much as possible. There are stories that are going around suggesting that the president and some ministers have tested positive. I'm sure you have seen it on social media. It is not true. It is not true. We like to encourage that if you have access to a platform, let's use it to encourage compliance with the preventive etiquette so that we can save as many lives as possible.
Don't take for granted the emotional intelligence behind it. Now, that notwithstanding, the silence of the government on the insistence of the NIA to expose registration officers, people's sons and daughters, spouses, side guys and side chicks, honeyberries and sugar canes, and ATMs to the COVID-19 still baffles many, including me. When you think about the NIA, when you think about it, the NIA says it's abiding by WHO protocols, encouraging social distancing and the registration of 25 persons at a time. Now, the people doing the registration say they are afraid because at any given point, there are about 14 of them. Now, if you take 14 out of 25, that means they can only register 11 people at a time. Look at these and tell me if any responsible government is thinking about the life of the current generation and the next one or the next election. Now, one of the low-key benefits of the season is how traffic has removed one like Ghana Jollof. You understand? But seriously, it's boring how traffic is reducing on our streets. We didn't like the stress, but we definitely didn't ask for this boring thing. It's getting boring. And I'm a boy. Well, let's get back to NIA. I'm not done with them. The fact that registration went on for some days after the president announced closure of places of worship and discouraged social massing tells you just how much value a scripture-quoting politician puts on the life of the ordinary citizen as long as his or her political fortunes depends on it. Otherwise, why can't that just wait? By whose authority is the NIA defying the orders of the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces that the Ghana card registration could continue unabated at the risk of the lives of the people who will be casting their votes? Assuming there was a guarantee all of such votes will go to the governing party, and also risking the lives of the registration officers who are legitimately afraid. Let me lighten up a bit. If the government said, in view of the COVID-19 pandemic, it has postponed the 2020 general elections, what do you think will be the reaction of the main opposition NDC? Will the reaction be stronger than apartheid, or maybe stronger than coronavirus? Anyway, so, let me tell you a story. As a student of O'Reilly SHS back then, right, we're getting to an election year, and the MP in the area at the time came to give the school computers. I was so upset, angry at him. How come all these while we needed the computers, he waited till it's an election year? Luckily, he lost the primaries. And you politicians, you should know that as much as you want your votes, we also want our welfare, which ultimately is the welfare of this country. And I bet you know this. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Now, for the EC, Electoral Commission, to insist that your voters registration exercise, even if it means COVID-19 annihilates the rest of us, is telling of a deep love for Ghanaians. The kind of love that deliberately destroys the present but says the past is not the future. This is not on, man. It's not on. It's not on at all. And this is very unlike you. Unless you want to prove your critics right. You can't do everything. We know that. Some are doing better than you. We know that. We also know that you are doing better than others. Which is all you want to see as, right? Which is all you want to see. That's all you want us to see, that you are doing better than someone. But if genuinely you seek the interest of the people, call the NIA to order, call the EC to order. And if all you want is votes, this singular act will get you more votes than what you think, perhaps. And I got it for me, boy. Hey, now you're the bunny there. It amazes me how some countries are giving their business people stimulus packages. Amazing, mouth-watering, asking landlords not to charge rent for the period. And here, people are virtually begging the government to stop its appointees from carrying out processes that will endanger their very lives. Bonnie Bang. On top of all these, there is doom and water shortages. Nobody shortages. Aden, Agomade, Minister de Poneke. Huh? Please, I'm coming.
Yes, we are attempting to come. We are attempting to come from media.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Backpage on Citi TV and also on DSTV channel 363. To be honest, COVID-19 makes you look at our government with some pity, I'm talking about the Kudah government. This pandemic is unprecedented. And this is the only problem that the Kudah government can't blame John Mahama for. I mean, like by now, we'll be hearing we inherited huge debts, they ran the company aground, they took loans they didn't pay. We have now found money to deal with it, blah, 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 and all of that. And to think that Energy Minister Mr. Amewu told us a dundum is over, only for Ghanaians to experience consistent, intermittent doom, just blows the mind. Imagine meeting Lupita Nyong'o, Lupita Nyong'o, in doom, complaining. Just imagine.
With the life situation, it's bad. It's really affecting. My fridge, my TV just goes off, comes on. I nearly had a fault with it because when it went off and the light came back, I put on the TV, it's not coming on anymore. It keeps going off. No information, nothing. At first, if they even put the light off, they say something. We're putting it off from this time to this time. But now it's not like that. It just goes off and it comes on like that.
Golden tree chocolate like this. Black is beautiful, I'm telling you. And I hear it's called doomtiful. That's when you combine a beautiful melanin with doom. Now, it's as if suffocating in a doom is not enough. People, there is hardly running water. And that's for many in the cities. As for those in the underserved areas,
Coming to you from Shanshego in the Tamale South constituency, where over here I'm standing in a dam. On a rainy season, this dam goes high as the lines you see around me. But the dry season, it dries up. I'm visiting this community to look at their major challenge, which is access to potable water. We're told this challenge has been running for about 7 years. And when it happens, the area or the community virtually comes to a standstill. Why have we for years neglected this community who are suffering or having challenges in access to potable water?
Can you imagine? Now, if your fundamentals are weak, the dry season, COVID-19, is exposing you. It's exposing you. While we are at it, Ghanaians are praying heavily in the name of the cathedral that government won't use COVID-19 as an excuse to turn a blind eye to Galamsey. As for the excavators, they have made us aware. Patty Hieska, legendary surgeon. But again, when the fundamentals are weak, water rationing will expose you.
Me fan say chief be mu na obeche galamsey fo no omo so ye kroma fo nti yentumi ka say ye jeli omo ene e sa de a on hide those aman na yenhwe na yenye recommendation no nti recommendation ni yegusu ye.
You know, the president's second address on COVID-19 was done late at night, like the first one. 10 p.m. on Sunday night. By Monday morning, we went to some schools, basic schools, to find out if the school children were abiding by the directive. There was a big problem. There is actually a big problem. And I will explain to you later on. For now, see these.
Aisha, why are you in school today?
Because they said we should come to school. Friday, they didn't. Our teacher didn't tell us to come to school. That's why. Our teacher told us we should come to school.
So that's why you're in school?
Yes.
Why are you in school today?
Because they are having heard news today, so I decided to come and see whether we are in school today.
So have you heard news today?
When I came, my teacher said that today school is not there, so we have to go home.
Why is school not there?
They said that there is a disease, so we have to go, but it's the president who said. So today is holiday, so we should go home for 1 month.
Better, do you know the disease?
Yeah, they said colonial virus.
They said what?
Colonial virus.
School is not there. Yeah. These were public basic schools, okay? Let's go to one private basic school.
I think we should all be at home.
Okay.
Yeah, because it can easily be spread. So someone can just come to school right now and give it to me. I don't know, and I go home. My mommy gets it, she goes to work, then just like that.
People of Ghana, here's the problem. Whereas most of the students in the private basic school had adequate information on COVID-19, their counterparts in the public basic school, Charlie. Now, for the private basic school children, you could tell there was the practice of social distancing, right? And some went to school in gloves, while others were wearing nose masks. And they, the better protected, were calling on government to ban classes for Form 3s. Whereas the public basic school, they were sharing mock exam questions because the questions weren't enough. Already, the mock, it is circuit supervisor's initiative. So the thing that we keep heaping songs of praise on ourselves for opening the floodgates without improving the hinges and the pillars, are we sure that the educational superstructure will not collapse on us eventually? The girl said she wanted to know if school is there. Why are you in school today?
Because I haven't heard news today, so I decided to come and see whether we are in school today.
So have you heard news today?
When I came, my teacher said that today school is not there, so we have to go home.
Why is school not there?
They said that there is a disease, so we have to go, but it's the president who said. So today is holiday, so we should go home for 1 month.
Better, do you know the disease?
Yeah, they said colonial virus.
They said what?
Colonial virus.
And these are final year basic school students, guys. Don't get it twisted. That's why I think that perhaps one of the most instructive things parents and teachers can do now is to watch Citi TV consistently every hour, because there is Class Act and you'll be taken through all the core subjects and you get to learn while you're home. Because what I saw there, Mano, at all. Now let's go to the basic, Zarantenga and see something.
Citi News first reported about the deplorable infrastructure at the Zarantenga Primary School in July 2019. The school, which is situated by the main Akpanduri-Bunkpurugu Road, attracts attention of passerbys as the pupils learn under trees due to lack of classrooms. The school authorities had to move pupils in the lower primary from their classrooms that was constructed by an NGO years ago to allow their seniors whose classroom blocks are dilapidated to use them. These stones assembled under this shade tree are arranged by the kids who use them as their furniture.
Guys, can you imagine? Now they have built a 3-unit classroom block without commissioning it. And so the pupils are still sitting on cement blocks. When the sun rises, they must change their position till the school is over. Now the headmistress is begging.
If they can open it for us to sit on the floor, that one would be better than sitting outside here. They should just hand it over to us. We will sit on the floor and we will be managing with that. When the furniture is ready, they can bring it. So we are appealing to them to open it for us to enter inside and sit on the floor. When they are sitting outside like this season, the CSM is there, all kind of sickness is there, that these transmitted diseases and what they are there. So it's better they open it, we open the windows and sit on the floor. We'll sit there, it's better than sitting outside here.
And to be honest, anyone who has followed happenings in the educational sector, even lackadaisically, will tell you they are afraid for this headmistress because it's very likely she will be transferred or demoted for begging for a better place for her wards because she has embarrassed the government. But let me take you to a secondary school that will be 95 years old this year. The senior high school that made me. And I'm sad to take you there.
You are in the dining hall / classroom. During breakfast time, lunchtime, and supper, we come here and then we eat, both boys and girls. So the boys would have to enter the girls' dormitory because the dining hall is located in the girls' dormitory. Then we'd have to eat. And then flies, because it's not an enclosed area, flies settle on our food and all that. And then during some classrooms have to come here, not just 1, 2 classrooms have to come here, and so they would have to separate. So So it makes learning, it makes the students not attentive in class.
Now, 6 Get Fund funded projects have been abandoned. Dear Get Fund, can you do the needful? I mean, I don't want to angry you. Right now, my hands are in your mouth. I don't want to remind you of your record because, we all know what has been happening. You've been sorting MPs out and things. Why can't you you've abandoned these projects for 6 years. Tell her, do something. Do something. And seriously, Dr. Okoboy, this can't be the assembly hall of a school in your constituency. No, it can't. Make our confidence in you worth it. Do something. Municipal and sincerely, I am tired. My friends, I'm tired. Take care of yourselves all the same, for these are uncommon times, and add common sense to your faith. About COVID-19, do all you can to contain it, but that won't be an excuse for you not to fulfill your social contract with the people and not their muscle. And as you're home again, I'm urging you, students, Class Act is the show for you.